I love Joe Rogan. I don't mind telling you this. I think Joe is a breath of fresh air, a bofa as we call it. This guy's done more to change the complexion, the texture, the stratum of talk and analysis commentary more than anybody else. He has changed it. In the annals of this particular platform that we do, there was Rush Limbaugh, and there was Howard Stern, and Joe Pine, and Bob Grant, and others, and Alex Jones, who never gets enough credit for having done more than anyone ever did in this particular type of performance platform. And Joe Rogan does something which is like nobody else's business. He shows a fascination and almost childlike. And I use this in the best sense of the word, as children are insatiably curious about everything. He's a smart guy. He's a polymath. He knows a variety of topics. But Joe, stay in your own lane, dude. You don't understand when it comes to politics. You almost were crushed when you got too close to the sun and the wings almost melted, my friend, when you started to talk about COVID and they almost chopped you off at the knees. Especially when Neil Young threatened to pull Cowgirl in the Sand from the Spotify collection. Oh my God. And you came out and you said, I'm sorry. It was great. It was a supplicant. You were absolutely conciliatory. You were contrite. You expatiated your error. Wonderful. Don't do it again. Now let me tell you something now, my friend. Listen to me and listen good, because I love you. And I don't know if you ever have any mentors in this, or if anybody pulled you aside and said, stay away from this. But listen to what I'm saying to you. Bobby Kennedy is a nut. Now, you may select certain things about him. I, for example, respect his brutal intrepidity, his bravery in daring to go against Big Pharma. He has been absolutely, his Children's Defense Fund has been wonderful in this. But lately he's getting a little pazzo, a little strange. The whole thing with the bear on Roseanne, and look, everybody's entitled. He's been through a lot. What that family's been through. But there's something a little bit about him that's crazy. And you don't become a heroin addict, and you go through all of these admixtures of potions of witch's brew. And that's one thing I'm going to tell you, Joe. I love the way you jump on something. You're doing an ice bath. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I'm sleeping on a red light. Well, that's nice. I'm paleo. I'm licking a salt block. Whatever you want to do. Dope is not good. And while I appreciate the idea of a lot of things in terms of opening your mind, there's a certain elasticity and plasticity to the mind that we're not exactly sure enough about, but enough with the preaching. But Joe, stay in your own lane. Now you know, and I know. Now come on, you're not going to say this, but Dana White's your buddy, and I know you're voting for Trump. You're not going to vote for Bobby Kennedy and that dingbat VP of his. And if ever there's somebody whose selection for VP really matters in terms of how they may have to assume the position, it's a Kennedy. I don't want to get too gross about this, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Joe, I love you, dude. I love you, man. I think you're just great. I really do. I mean this. Stay away from this political realm. Don't endorse anybody. They've got a target on you. They want you blown up and blown away. The greatest entertainer, perhaps maybe one of them ever, was Johnny Carson, Bob Hope. They never let their politics be known. Why? Talk about the issues. Talk about everybody. Talk about who's good, who's bad, who's crazy. Because I know you're voting for Trump. Trump is like chemotherapy, my friend. Chemotherapy is something that you never want to use unless you've got cancer. It'll kill you. Trump will kill you unless the thing you're trying to stop will kill the republic. Then you need him. He's a son of a bitch, but he's our son of a bitch. It's the old Lyndon Johnson quote, I believe, about LBJ. So, Joe, don't learn a lesson, my friend. Learn a lesson. And also, keep these moments of clarification to a minimum. When you were contrite that time as to your COVID error, I thought to myself, all right, don't push it. Don't push this thing. Don't go nuts. Okay, I don't know why you said you were sorry, but all right, I understand. Maybe you figured, damn, because listen, with all that money you're making, I'm with you. But look at your family, look at your kids, and ask yourself, is Bobby Kennedy or anybody worth this? You got to understand something too, Joe, and I know you've never seen this before, but take it from Uncle Lenny here. When it comes to the political realm, this maelstrom of lunacy, these people are out of their minds. And remember this. If there's one thing I can tell you, and I'm your biggest fan, Joe. I'm your biggest fan. But I know what I'm talking about. Remember this. Pick the hill you want to die on. Pick the issue or the person that you would throw everything away for. Everything. The money, the fame. Because there are people who want to see you fail. And they will accelerate the inevitable if indeed your demise is within the crosshairs of their worldview and vision. So pick the hill you want to die on. And be very careful what you say. Because remember, you never get in trouble for what you don't say.